Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Read Aloud video for Spanish Conquest and Settlement in the Americas. Probably one of the hardest readings I'm going to give you all year long. Lucky for us, it's only one page, but as you can see, it is full of vocabulary words that might be new to you. So we're going to do the Read Aloud together. We will probably be talking a little bit about some of those words as well so that we make sure that you understand the reading. Let's jump right in. I'm going to zoom into my screen, grab my questions, and I'm going to preview those first couple questions there. The first paragraph talks about three groups: rulers, soldiers, and adventurers, and the Catholic Church. Highlight the goal that each of these three groups had. What did they want to do in America? I think I'm just going to stick with that question first. I'm going to be looking for those three groups right in the first paragraph. That does a nice job of previewing that first paragraph for me. I'm going to be looking for the goals of those people. Here we go. The explorations of Columbus, Vespucci, and Magellan spread great excitement in Europe. Ambitious rulers jumped at the opportunity to increase their wealth, power, and territory. Soldiers and adventurers hoped for fame and fortune, and the Roman Catholic Church saw a chance to spread its influence by converting Native Americans to Christianity. Prompted by these goals, the Spaniards took an early lead in exploring the New World. All right, so that's a lot to highlight just for one question. I'm going to grab my highlighter, make sure it's probably going to be a thickness of about 6. I like yellow for this activity. Make sure that it is transparent. And I'm already seeing that the goal of these rulers, which would be like kings and queens, was they wanted to increase their wealth, their power, and their territory. So they wanted land. And soldiers and adventurers, they wanted fame and fortune. They wanted to get rich and famous. And the Roman Catholic Church, they wanted to convert Native Americans to Christianity. There's one of your smart words, convert, which in this context means to change their religion. So the church wants to get these Native Americans to join up with the Christian religion. So I think that's going to take care of that first question. And we'll look at the next couple questions. We're going to be looking for what were Spanish adventurers called? And what happened to Native American people as a result of their clashes with conquistadors? So that's question 2 and 3. And look, right away we see that word conquistadors again. That is your subheading for this next section. So I'm going to grab my highlighter, and here we go. Conquistadors. The early success of Columbus and others who sailed for Spain gave that country a claim to vast regions in the Americas. Adventurers called conquistadors or conquerors soon arrived to exploit the territories. The Spaniards took possession of whatever wealth they could find. So there's a smart word, exploit, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't sound good because they're taking all the wealth that they can find. And these conquistadors, also called conquerors, well, when you're conquering something and taking all the wealth you can find, that kind of might help you understand what that word exploit means. Exploit, to take advantage of. And take control of for your own wealth and benefit. So there you have it. That's what these Spanish conquistadors were called. And then now you're going to be looking for what happened to Native American people as a result. And also we're going to learn about a few of these conquistadors: Coronado, De Soto, Cortez, and Pizarro. That's going to be question 4, 5, and 6. So back to our reading. The conquistadors showed little concern for the peoples they met. In this tragic clash of cultures, Native Americans lost their lands and possessions to the conquerors. Thousands of Indians were killed in battle or died from exposure to European diseases. Most who survived lived in slavery. So that's what happened to Native Americans. And I forgot to number here. We're going to have to go back and number. That is the answer to question 3. So I've got question 1, 2, and 3. Go back here and grab some text boxes. Question 1 was that entire first paragraph. Everything I highlighted helped me answer that question for number 1. And then conquistadors, that was the answer to question 2. And here we see what happened to Native Americans in this paragraph as a result of this clash with the conquistadors. So back to my highlighter. I'm going to preview my next set of questions again. I'm looking for these people: Coronado, De Soto, Cortez, and Pizarro. Conquistadors and priests spread out to various parts of the Americas. Spanish settlements took root in the southwest region of North America, the Caribbean, Mexico, and Central and South America. In 1521, Hernando Cortez conquered the Mexican Empire of the Aztecs. During the 1530s, Francisco Pizarro began his conquest of the Inca Empire of Peru. So it looks like maybe these questions are not quite in order. So Cortez conquered the Aztecs. Pizarro conquered the Inca, and boy, what a story that is. We'll be talking in class how Cortez and Pizarro were able to do this. But that is going to be the answer to question 5 and 6. And I think 4 must be a little bit out of order here. So I'm going to just put 5 plus 6. And then, yep, here I can see the answer to question 4 is coming up. Other Spaniards searched in vain for legendary sources of treasure. Both Francisco Coronado and Hernando de Soto sought the fabled 7 cities of Cibola, said to be built entirely of gold. While Coronado and his followers wandered through vast regions of the American Southwest, one member cited the Grand Canyon. A rival expedition led by De Soto sailed from Cuba to Florida and then continued overland to the lower Mississippi River Valley. Like many other conquistadors, De Soto looted, killed, and enslaved Native Americans that he met on his travels. Also, like Coronado, he failed to find a trace of the rumored riches. So Coronado and De Soto are looking for uh, the 7 cities of Cibola. They're basically looking for all this rumored treasure, all this gold, but they search in vain. So there's one of our smart words. In vain means they searched but did not succeed. If you do something in vain, you try but you fail. So let me make sure that I have that correct there. What did Coronado and De Soto search for? That's question 4. We're done with 5 and 6 already. So back to my reading. And again, I'm sorry, this question looks like it was out of order, but that is the answer to number 4. And now we will be looking for what were the first Spanish settlements and what did they consist of? And what were Native Americans forced to do at the missions? So back to our reading. And there's that word, Spanish missions. Spanish missions. The first Spanish settlements were missions founded by priests who accompanied the conquistadors. A mission consisted of a church, a school, houses, and farmland. A fort protected the mission. So that should be the answer to number 7. So it sounds like a village, doesn't it? A mission is like a small village. It's got a church, a school, a house, farmland, a fort to protect it. And I think that's what, question 5, 6, 7. That's question 7. What were Native Americans forced to do at the missions is what I'm looking for next. Priests hoped that the Native Americans would come to the missions voluntarily. But when they did not, Spanish soldiers went out to bring them in. Once at the missions, Native Americans were forced to go to church and to work in the fields. The priests believed that converting the Native Americans to Christianity would save their souls. However, to Native Americans, the mission experience meant the destruction of their own religion and their culture. So they were forced to go to church, they're forced to work in the fields. Sounds a little bit like slavery to me, doesn't it? Question 9. What areas of the Americas were under Spanish control by the end of the 1500s? So the Spanish are coming in and they are just taking over. Oh, and that was question 8 that we just highlighted. So grab my text box. Question 8. The priests and soldiers met fierce resistance from some Native Americans. Father Juanitero Serra is famous for founding 7 missions along the California coast. But Indians destroyed the first mission he founded, overcoming the Spanish soldiers who defended it. Spanish legacy. The Spanish legacy in the Americas was immense. By the end of the 1500s, Spain ruled all of South America except Brazil, all of Central America, Mexico, and most of the western part of the United States were also under Spanish control. They also took possession of the large gold and silver deposits that they found throughout Spanish America. So that looks like the answer to question 9. We're getting close to the end here. Remember, not very long reading, but certainly a lot of tough vocabulary here. Question 10. Who ruled the Spanish territories and what were their instructions? And question 11. What was Spain's purpose for taking over the Americas? The Spanish lands were ruled by viceroys, people appointed by and responsible only to the King of Spain. A viceroy's instructions were clear: rule for the benefit and wealth of Spain. Spain had no plan to colonize the Americas, although it sent more than 150,000 Spaniards across the seas. Spain's plan was to use all wealth found in the Americas to build up its power in Europe. In the 1500s, hundreds of ships loaded with gold and silver sailed from the Americas to Spain. Thanks to its new riches, Spain became a great power in Europe. But Spain did not use its wealth wisely. Spending large amounts on unsuccessful wars in Europe, Spain fell deeply into debt, and by the 1600s, its power declined. So, doesn't sound like it's a happy ending for the Spanish. Who ruled the Spanish terror? Okay, we took care of that one. And question 11, what was Spain's purpose? Sorry, just got to catch up with my numbering here. Looks like we highlighted the answer to number 10 right here. And then their purpose or their plan, looks like the reading calls it their plan, right? Was to use all the wealth to build up its power. And that would be question 11. Spain was actually the most powerful country in the world in the 1500s because of what all the riches and all the wealth that they were able to take over from the Americas. Okay, the next question is a pretty important one. Highlight 3 to 4 changes to the Americas that were caused by Spain and its influence. So we're going to be highlighting several things here. And we are starting on this paragraph here. The Spaniards introduced many changes to the Americas. They brought in the horse, which altered Native American life, especially among the plains peoples. They also introduced such livestock as cows, sheep, and goats, and such fruit trees as lemon, orange, fig, cherry, and pear. So it sounds like some of these changes involved animals and plants that they brought to the Americas that didn't exist there before. The influence of Spain on life in the Americas continues to be felt today. In most of South and Central America and Mexico, Spanish is the official language, and Roman Catholicism is the chief religion. Ever wonder why everybody speaks Spanish south of the United States? Well, this is why. Often, however, the Spanish legacy has mixed with Native American influences. For example, Inca and Aztec traditions have been incorporated into Catholic ceremonies and festivals. So we had several things there. I think it said highlight 3 to 4. I think we've got 3 to 4, so that's going to actually finish the reading. That is question 12. We're going to label that and you are done. Don't forget to check out the Smart Words quiz this time, or the Smart Words check. I think it's 17 words, so do your best on that, and I will see you next time.